Hi everybody, my name is Girija. I am a nurturing consultant in child development. I help parents in nurturing techniques, and in my humble way, today I thought of introducing a new concept by name, the concept of number 5 in moral development. I thought whoever would like to develop morals among children, if there is an effective way that would remain with the children anytime, we would be doing justice to the purpose of moral development. So, I came out with this idea of concept number 5, and I think this may help children to quite some extent. Morals are dignity. That's a slogan for this presentation. So, let me introduce what I mean by this concept of number 5 in moral development. Foremost, parents should spend some time with the children and explain to them these matters. What are morals? Morals are nothing but the right conduct, a justified way of behavior. And the behavioral aspects are nothing but the human behaviors and personalities, which I would be explaining a little bit in the upcoming slides. Morals are dignity. What is this? Concept number 5, the most influencing factor. Influencing factor is that which remains with us, that which helps us to follow the idea. So, this influencing factor 5, the concept 5, is good as preventive as well as a remedial if anybody would like to correct their behavior. We need to tell the children the importance of morals. Why should we be moral? What happens if we are not moral? When can we be moral always? What makes us immoral? In simple terms, lying, cheating, exploitation is immoral. Then, what do we know and what is it we don't know? Nature versus nurture. What makes us immoral to moral or moral to immoral? These are a few salient points. Let's talk about these. Why should we be moral is the first point. If we are not moral, that means we are not behaving in a pro-social way. We belong to not just for ourselves, but we also belong to a society where we are living. So, we have some rules and regulations to follow, a good behavior to show, where we don't lie, cheat, or exploit others. So, that is the justified behavior. So, that's why we need to be moral, so that we don't we are not antisocials. Then what happens if we are not moral? If we are not moral, it is a very bad situation we will be in, causing harm or hurt to ourselves as well as others. When can we be moral always? We can be moral always only with knowledge, which I will be explaining later on. Then, what is nature versus nurture? Nature is the way we are born, how humans behave, the way they behave. And nurturing is the environment, how we can bring up good personality traits. Every human is born with the same genetic makeup. That is why we all have same features. But why does behavior change? Why is that behaviors are so different? It's based upon the environment, the way we are brought up in, the way we learned, the way we the way we believe in our principles. That's what is nurture. Then what makes us immoral to moral or moral to immoral? Let's see further. When can we be moral? Always. If we are knowledgeable about everything, about our personalities, ourselves, the people we are with, the society we are with, then we can be moral always. How do we know if people are moral or immoral? Here the role of knowledge and awareness plays an important role. Now, let me introduce this. Number 5. Is it applicable in practicality? Is it really possible? Yes. Everybody, as we are educated, we all know there is a 10-point scale. We are very familiar with the 10-point scale. Similar concept, I applied it in this case of moral development. Knowledge spreads knowledge. I mentioned over here role of knowledge and awareness. Role of knowledge and awareness about what? About human behavior. We all have our mind full of thoughts. We have right brain and we have left brain, right? So here the 10-point scale, I brought it about as left side 5 points and right side 5 points, okay? So our right brain is full of creativity and imaginative thoughts and artistic nature. Our left brain is rule-bound, reasoning, and logical. We all are controlled mostly by our left brain. That's why we are quite balanced in the society when we are behaving. We follow rules. We learn. We behave in a proper way. So, most of the time we are always rule bound, reasoning out, and we use proper words. We take the help of learning, some kind of education. So most of the time we all are left brain oriented, and those who are very imaginative, artistic, fine art based, or anything other than normal, creative people, they are right brain controlled. Sometimes they use their right brain. All of us have right brain and left brain principles, and all of us are always using both the sides. So what about this number 5? Number 5 is the justified behavior, where we are always moral, we are balanced. The balance is to do with justice, right? So, we have moral guardians in our society, starting from our family. We are always learning through religion, through behavior of people around, and through following the rules, through knowing about the social behavior. We are always following morally. So, that balance, I showed it here as a justified behavior, number 5. So, both the sides. The lesser the points, then you are away from justified behavior. When you are coming closer to the 5, you are absolutely balanced. So, how do we behave absolutely balanced? Through knowledge. Knowledge and awareness about how human behavior happens and how it is very essential for us to behave balanced way, justified way. Always be at number 5. If we are not moral, then we are ignorant. Ignorance, when it spreads to one to the other, there is a downfall of moral behavior and it leads to unhappiness. Whereas when we have knowledge and awareness, we have happy faces, you see. There is happiness in dignity. So there is happiness because of moral behavior or justified well-balanced behavior. Now, let's see what is this number 5 in practicality, what's self-awareness and what's the outcome. Moral behavior is also a good social conduct, and morals are dignity. This is in otherwise we can say social intellectual quotient. I would be explaining what is the bird's eye view and what we mean by the social intellectual quotient. Then importance of emotions, bonding and control. And here I would like to mention why this in practicality, why this knowledge is important to know about what is a right behavior and what is a wrong behavior through some good source. Knowledge is also called a light principle. Where there is knowledge, it's like light. Where there is no knowledge, it is like darkness. When we are in the darkness, we think the world is dark out. And when we have knowledge, then we think future is bright. We have so much of good happiness days coming up. So what causes darkness? Ignorance is darkness and awareness is light. Let's see further about this social intellectual quotient and the bird's eye view. Everybody is born as a kid with the same genetic makeup, same kind of chromosomal set, right? As a human, when we are all born as human, we all are just the same. As we are growing, we also become individuals because of our individual environment. And then we develop personality, become a person, special personality. Again, either right brain dominated or left brain dominated. Are we very creative persons where we always tend to think, imagine, we become sensitive that things should be better, world should be a better place, and or are we logical and sticking to only words and numbers and reasoning always and not trying to do something better or more imaginative? So here imaginative minds always try to imagine to make things better. Situations can be better. How to achieve something new. The growth mindsets. So here again the concept number 5 helps. Though we are trying out new things, is it justified behavior? So are we coming closer to number 5? Are we justified in what we are doing? And the bird's eye view is showing as an overview of the whole world. There are several people, children when they come out of their homes, mix up with the society. What children need to understand is everybody's individual environment could be different, and as children are growing, developing into individuals, the individuals are formed because of their experiences. The experiences make them the individual and develop a kind of personalities. The experiences, what they have come across is what everybody won't know about the other children. This is the awareness what the teenagers or the children need to know, that what must have happened in the children's past is what we do not know. So how much do we know, how much we do not know is what the teenagers must know. So what is the safe way? Here I would like to show a previous matter. Can we be moral always? This is where the children need to understand that we do not know much about the other people. So what we can do, what we need to explain to the children is, to what group do we belong to? First of all, the group, does it know what is moral behavior? What is a justified behavior? Do we know? Have we taught the children about the morals and the guardians of the morals? Our children in the schools, in the educational institutions, or home as an institution, have we taught them by showing what is moral behavior and what is expected in society as moral, and are the groups acting or behaving according to their age? Do they have the awareness? Did we create the knowledge and awareness? And to make the children safe in the society, what we can explain to them is, just as they would play in a sports field where all the children are playing, they would dance in a group where everybody is dancing, and they would sing in a group where children are singing. And as learners in the group, they sit and learn. That is where they can belong to that group or not belong to the group. They need to understand, observe their behavior, the possibilities. Just as they would naturally play with a play group, sing with a singing group, dance with a dancing group, they would drink with a drinking group. They may act immoral with an immoral group, and they would act moral with an immoral group. So, do they know what are morals or immorals? That's a responsibility of parents as well as educators to nurture, to provide the knowledge and awareness among the children, that how groups behave, what is moral behavior and what is immoral behavior, and why it is important to be moral, and who are all the moral guardians, and why morality is very important, because morals are dignity. These are all we need to create awareness among the children. And then, as a bird's eye view, children, what they can learn about the whole world, as whole world is made up of human beings, besides of course other living things. Human beings, how they develop as individual because of their experiences and what the personality will be. And then in the family, again, parents are always concerned about the children, how they would be, or why they are so individualistic sometimes. In a family, let me give one example of food. If you ask a parent about food, what have you done, what did you eat? The mother or the parent would immediately talk about the whole family, what they plan to cook or what they prepared for everybody. Whereas you ask any child, tell me something about your food today, the child only would talk about, I had this. The child will not talk about how the child is planning for everybody or anything, won't even think in those lines. So the thoughts of a child in the family and parents in the family will be very different. Here what I'm trying to connect is a child as an individual when going to the society. There is every possibility to think individually, observe individually, try to understand the world individually, and may do rightly or may do wrongly. So again, as a family, it is the responsibility of parents and educators, before the children understands in a wrong way about the world, to create awareness and knowledge about moral development and morality. And this is how the knowledge helps to behave in a balanced way. And if a child is not behaving in a proper way, it is the right brain principle or the creative mind or the logical mind. What is it, the left or right brain that is dominating in behaving in a particular way, and where should we help the children? This is what is the moral development I thought of helping in parenting. And can we be moral always? Yes, with concept number 5, if we are striking the balance in our behavior, if we are creating the knowledge about a moral behavior and how our human minds work and what is safe for the children. If they have this knowledge, then it is possible. Let's help the children while educating them to strike balance, to always behave balanced, to reach number 5 concept, just as we expect them to evaluate or assess the behaviors which is learnt through environment to do their best. Let us help children and future generations this way with the concept number 5 in moral development. If this helped people in some way or other, I would be too glad. And thank you so much.